The Rasheed Report. Gossip, news, entertainment. The Rasheed Report. Gossip, news, entertainment. The Rasheed Report. Gossip, news, entertainment. What up? It's your boy, the heavyweight DJ Rasheed. Right here is the Rasheed Report. I'm in the building. I told you I was going to bring you someone special today. Special, real special. A young lady straight out of Canada. Very special lady, man. She done did so much and accomplished so much. I got her on the line today. Straight out of Canada, Jully Black. It's good.
Hi.
What's happening?
What's up?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's what's happening right
Love
now.
Love that.
Hey,
exactly.
What's going up there? What's going on up there in Canada where you at? What's happening over there?
Well, Toronto is just, we're harvesting some great seeds up here, man. You already know.
Listen.
Great seeds. It is time for harvest.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you know what? You done did so much. I mean, oh man, where can we start? Let's start with the Nas situation in the Heaven single.
Yes.
Let's start with that because that's legendary. Like, come on, Nas of all people, and you was on this single Heaven. Let's talk a little bit about that for the people who haven't been familiar with that and knowing that it was you behind this the whole time. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's happening?
Absolutely. So what a gift and a blessing at the time, being signed to MCA Records back then. Simply being in the studio in Orlando. It was that it was Lou Pearlman's studio. You remember that guy that did that Making of the Band?
Yes.
Lou Pearlman?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a big studio out in Orlando, and I was in Studio A, and Nas was in Studio B.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was recording what ended up being Heaven. It was originally called The Things You Do for my debut album, and it was lunchtime, and I saw him. And rather than be one of those super fans, I literally walked up to him as a peer. Right. As much as I didn't have any songs out, I was like, you know what? I recognize that he's a seasoned vet in the game, and I wanted a mentor, to be totally frank. And I let him know that I honor what he's done, and as an artist and as a creative, and that I literally, like the ghetto girl in me, was just like, I want you on my song.
Right.
Bold, Jamaican and bold.
Right.
And so he's like, okay, because he didn't know what I sounded like, so who knows? I could have sounded like hell. But he, one day, day one happened, day two happened, he didn't come in the studio. Day three, I said, this guy's playing me.
Right.
And day four, when Heaven was being recorded, he walked in the studio, and he heard, "Would I pack up my bags and leave this world behind?" And he just heard it, and he's just like, "Oh!" And his mama just passed away.
Right.
And he asked, would I allow him to use my verse as his hook?
Yeah.
And in return, do a song called "Material Things" for me, and it was the most beautiful connection because he did become my mentor,
right? And
to really teach me about, wants versus needs, and recognizing that this is more of it's a journey and not a destination.
Right.
And too often we're focusing on the end result, the being number one.
Yes.
This was almost 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. And those
Right.
very words ring true today because you sit at number one for your shortest amount of time in your career. So what are you doing in the meantime to have that endurance? So it was amazing.
Yeah, and it's amazing. That's huge, and I think a lot of folks need to be able to hear that. All the listeners out there, because the game has changed so much from 20 years, 25 years ago to now. We don't have as many major labels as we did from back then because there's a lot that are not even around anymore. And there's, as far as artist development goes, none of that. And a lot of us that was out there had major label deals, but a lot of folks didn't really have major label success,
Right.
Now, I see here you are, Canada considers you the queen of R&B and soul. You've done done so much. And it's like, how does it feel to have that title, Canada Queen of Soul, R&B and Soul? Like, how does that make you feel?
Well, I'm deeply humbled. I would love to meet the person who said it for the very first time because it caught flame. But I also recognize it's almost like not being able to feel your skin on your skin. So I don't feel, right? I don't feel by the color on my skin. I don't feel the title, because that is exactly that. It's a title. And when you define yourself by a title or a definition, if someone takes that away from you, then oftentimes your validity will go with it. So I never took hold of it. I never took ownership of it in that way. What I did do is I decided to be a steward and recognize that it's a bridge. Because in Canada, even till now, as far as R&B music, it's still, and soul and hip hop, there's still a very, very small market. And many are sitting in their basements wondering if their dream will ever be actualized. So it was very important for me to not let the trials and tribulations shift my crown or knock the crown off of my head, and have me recognize that it's important for me to maintain my posture and recognize that I have a purpose in music. I was given this gift for free, and that until my eyes close, I'll never retire. It doesn't matter, major label, no major label, like, this is forever. And I feel so grateful to be on your show for that very reason, because many need to see me endure for them to take one step.
Well said. Well said. Definitely.
Thank you.
And, I'm looking over here and I'm seeing that you're ambassador, huh? An ambassador. You are doing so much. So much.
I do a lot.
You do not miss a beat. You were everywhere. And that's what I think here in the States. I think the US really needs to embrace you. I think because you was already you was here. You was really here. And that's the thing. And there's some people so far in between that knows that, and it's like, okay. And I think it happens like that a lot, where our artists that are coming from Canada, that's coming from overseas, saying they're recognized over there, but when they hit the state, it takes off and goes a whole nother direction. It's a whole nother life. You know what I mean? And I think at that time when you was coming through, and then a lot of these labels, like you said, just collapsed. They was going other places. I think it's time for the US to know who Jully Black is. That you was here.
I agree.
You was here, and they need to be able to hear and see you once again. That this is what you do. You're a powerful woman, and I'm telling you, 2019, you women are taking over. Like, it's a lot of power. You all are holding a lot of power in positions, for 2019 across the board.
Yes.
Well, let's talk.
I thank you for that.
No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. This new single, okay? You got the new single. Follow Your Love. This track to me, it says a lot, and it can do so much. It's so powerful.
Thank you.
And I see this really, really. Especially here, we springtime's around the corner, summer getting ready to come, but I see this on all levels of radio, in the clubs, where it's different. We needed this. We didn't, I think the industry has lacked this over the last decade. Really, because it hasn't had anything like this that can really set fire if they go ahead and just push it the way it needs to be pushed and accept it. Let's talk a little bit about this. How do you feel about that single?
Wow. Thank you. You're so, I love hearing you speak and the way you introduce things and create a bridge for the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about this single because I was able to delve into my Jamaican dialect a little bit.
Right.
That's really fun. I think that we went through a phase recently where it was almost like, I'm going to be a little controversial. It was almost like Elvis Presley, Little Richard syndrome, where we were having, the reggae vibe from the Ed Sheeran or the Nick Jonas or the Bieber. There's this vibe, and then it was accepted by which is fine. It's accepted by the urban market, and of course, Black people are like, yeah, we got a little reggae vibe. But ultimately, we need not forget about the foundation. We need not forget about, I often say, had a Black girl from the church did the same song as Adele, would it have blown up?
Exactly.
Same thing with Sam Smith. And I think that's been one of my crusades where it's a matter of awareness and letting people know that no different than sports, music is the language and one another language that brings us all together. But it also can segregate. And I find that there was a bit of segregation happening. And so now for me with Follow Your Love, it's more so a campaign to basically follow your love anywhere it takes you. If it takes you, to Paris and you want to learn French, go. If it takes you to culinary school, go. If it takes you to become a DJ, go. If it takes you to nursing school, go. Right. But the whole point is follow your love. Too many of us have been discouraged and have lost that passion. And so this to me is some people may think this is actually my sound. And I want the world to know that this is a side of my voice. Our voices have personalities, and there are many sides. We have different sides when we're angry and when we're sorrowful, or when we're excited and we're jovial. There's different sides of the voice, and so that's what Follow Your Love represents. Okay. The fun, where you could come together, like you mentioned. Women are there's a women's movement happening now.
There is,
and for me, I really want the women to step into the movement more so, recognizing that we need you all as our allies. So rather than separate, more so, I often say that women are the neck and the head. So we have to work together.
Yes.
It's very, very important. Yes. And so that's what Follow Your Love represents, a togetherness. I think reggae music, that type of reggae vibe, dancehall vibe, is similar. It's actually a genre that brings everyone together. It's not like, okay, you listen to country or you listen to pop or you listen to, but you see reggae music like Bob Marley.
It brings everyone together.
Everybody.
And
that's my mission in life, to bring everyone together. I'm happy that MCA closed. I'm happy that Sony didn't put out Heaven because I wasn't ready.
At that time.
Spiritually, mentally at that time. Now, I don't, put me on any stage, anywhere.
And you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Because
grew.
I'm so empowered in my skin.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You grew. Yes. It's your time right now. It's definitely your time.
Thank you.
And I think that happened to, like I said, a lot of the artists that was over at MCA at the time. Seagram's Gin came in. They owned a lot of that over there. So and a lot of people didn't know that. And a lot of people lost their jobs and had to go out elsewhere, and a lot of artists had to find different homes, and some of them didn't bounce back, from that situation. And people who had joint ventures, I think that you took that time, and even though it was sort of a hiatus, but you still in between, you was doing what you needed to do, and you created your craft, and you developed yourself in a way that now, like you said, the world should be ready for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're definitely ready for the world. You showing them that it's in their sound. It's there. So, and it's funny, in a way, because it's like you said, when you see the Ed Sheerans and all them, and they're out there and they're taking this reggae vibe, and everyone is applauding them and loving it. But basically, then when our own people are doing it, you're not giving it the same type of love. Even though it's bringing everyone together, but that's the politics of it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you being on this show today. Love talking with you. I can't wait to get up with you in person. Right now we are working on some things over here in the U.S.
I'm coming out there.
Definitely. We definitely got to have you out here. So we're working on a big radio event, to have you definitely bless the stage out this way, and all that, and see what's going on. All right. But before we get up out of here, I need to know, where can they catch you at on your social media? everything. And I'm going to need you to
Absolutely.
introduce your new single also.
Yes. So, first website jullyblack.com. I do want everyone to recognize that it's the Jully is the Jamaican Jully spelling.
Yes.
Okay, let's go there.
Yes,
so
I see that.
Jully. Right. So Miss Jully Black, MISS Jully Black on Instagram, and then all the other channels. It's Jully Black, Twitter, Facebook, all of them, Snapchat, all of it. And really, you could find me in your heart. If you really just take a moment to listen to my music, I'll always be with you in your heart.
Definitely. Appreciate that, though. So before we get up out of here, I need you to introduce your new single right now.
This is a big inaugural moment for me. So thank you for being my first, U.S. interview. So yeah, what's up? It's your girl, Miss Jully Black, and this is my brand new single, "Follow Your Love." Come on now, anywhere it takes you. Peace.
Wake up, I'm looking for you, and I can't get nowhere. Reach out, I'm making a way for you, but you don't care. I feel so uneasy. My heart go deep. For you, go make me go lose it. Must show me. I tried to lead you to the water, but every time that I look in your eyes, they always seem to wonder. What are you doing? You said to cool it, Jully, but as much as I want you, it's calling me foolish. My intuition telling me I should listen to her. Try my best, but I can't turn it on. Yeah. I wish I could follow your love. I wish I could, but I can't. Turn it off, can't 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 turn it off. I wish I could, but I can't. Oh why? Why you don't leave me? Can't lie, I feel in a way, but you not treat me. I be so frustrated. I need to release it, for you gon' make me go lose it. And I show my head. I tried to lead you to the water, but every time that I look in your eyes, they always seem to wonder. What are you doing? You can't go through this, Jully. But as much as I want you, it's calling me foolish. My intuition telling me I should listen to her. Try my best, but I can't turn it on. Yeah. I wish I could follow your love. I wish I could, but I can't. I wish I could. Said I wish I could follow your love. Said I wish I. Oh, I wish. My intuition telling me I should listen to her. Try my best, but I can't turn it on. Yeah. I wish I could follow your love. I wish I could, but I can't. I wish I could follow your love. I wish I could, but I can't. I wish I could follow your love. I wish I could, but I can't.
Fire, Miss Jully Black, Canada's own queen of R&B and soul, right there. New single, "Follow Your Love." I can't wait till this lady touches down in the States. It's your boy, the heavyweight DJ Rasheed, right here. It's the Rasheed Report. You know I always bring it to you first. Holla at your boy. You know what it is. And we out of here. What up, though?